Про запас
Куда?
оставил 2.
Не, у меня 2 тоже есть, но я говорю пусто, чтобы съебать.
Андрюх, ты чё?
Тихо.
Six Russian logistics officers have been found guilty of stealing more than 360 tons of aviation kerosene in the Irkutsk region. Each got off with fines equivalent to $627 or less, according to a regional Russian news outlet. Taiga Info reports that Captain Valery Spivak, Instructor Sergei Brovko, Senior Lieutenant Anton Molchanov, Captain Denis Grebenikov, Captain Dmitry Kutuzov, and Major Andrei Chistyakov earned millions of rubles from a series of separate fuel thefts. Spivak was convicted of forging official records, recording that a much larger amount of kerosene had been used than was actually the case. He earned 819,000 rubles, $10,270, for the theft, which he returned to the state and was fined 50,000 rubles, $627 or less. Aviation engineering instructor Sergei Brovko was convicted for a similar scam, refueling an Il-78 tanker aircraft in December 2021 with 41,000 kilograms less kerosene than it was supposed to carry. The head of the fuel depot paid him at least 275,000 rubles, $3,448, for the theft. The fuel was later written off by the Russian Ministry of Defense. The same depot head, a man named Faskiev, was involved in another scam involving training squadron engineer Senior Lieutenant Anton Molchanov, who did not refuel the planes with almost 170 tons of kerosene. Faskiev paid Molchanov 2.4 million rubles, $30,096, but escaped charges himself. He only appeared as a witness in both cases and claimed that Brovko and Molchanov had initiated the scam. Both officers were fined 50,000 rubles, $627 each. Faskiev may well have been scamming the two officers in Tern military court documents record that he bought the kerosene for 12 rubles per liter, likely earning a substantial margin on the sale of the fuel. Similar cases of forged refueling records were heard in the 2nd Eastern Military District Court against Captain Denis Grebenikov, Captain Dmitry Kutuzov, and Major Andrei Chistyakov. They were paid at least 1.7 million rubles, $21,318, for writing off about 150 tons of fuel. Again, the head of the fuel depot was responsible for the corrupt transaction, but was apparently not charged. The three officers pleaded guilty and were each fined between 35,000 and 50,000 rubles, from $439 to $627. Fuel thefts are endemic in the Russian armed forces. Many Russian servicemen regard military fuel as a second currency, after rubles, which they freely appropriate, often with the aid of corrupt depot managers who act as middlemen. During the initial phase of the Russian invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, many Russian vehicles ran out of fuel because their drivers or depot managers had sold it to the Belarusians. The Ukrainian armed forces surrounded a group of Russian soldiers who were hiding under a bridge. We have the aftermath of the operation, but we cannot show it. Can you guess what happened? Russian soldier films himself and his group getting hit by Ukrainian artillery.
Почему мы не ходим, мать?
Мы прикрываем теперь тех, кто последний отходит, которые недавно пришли разведосы. Нахуй
А чем мы будем прикрывать? У меня пусто.
У меня один разок, нахуй, мне Рома
У
дал.
меня последний.
Тоже есть 2.
Я про запас
Куда?
оставил 2.
Не, у меня 2 тоже есть, но я говорю пусто, чтобы съебать.
Андрюх, ты чё?
Тихо.
The Russian peacekeepers were kicked out of Nagorno-Karabakh by the Azerbaijani command, who used special forces and police. It appears that the Russian peacekeepers will be expelled. Someone is showing Russia where it belongs. This is also an aftermath of the failed invasion in Ukraine, as former Soviet states are no longer afraid of Russian military power. Field tests of a new Ukrainian ground-based kamikaze vehicle equipped with a TM-62 anti-tank mine. The head of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine declared readiness for a counteroffensive. The troops are waiting for the decision of the command.
Preparation is being finalized because we should have not only weaponry and military equipment, but also our service people should master it. We received very sophisticated systems, in particular Iron Fist. If we are talking about Leopard 2 from tank coalitions, Challengers, and Leopards 1, which will join us later on, and also we are waiting for Abramses. Probably they will not take part in this counteroffensive, but our crews are already on training. Meanwhile, we have a huge number of different armored vehicles, Bradley, Marder Strikers, C-90. Some training are still in process, so equipment itself was proclaimed, was prepared and partly delivered. But there are some types of equipment where our service people are being still trained, and they will go to those places figured out by our commander-in-chief. So in general term, we are mostly ready. Later on, decision will be given to the general staff, to General Zaluzhny and his subordinates, as soon as we will have goodwill, decision of commanders, and whether we will do it. And dear colleagues, I would like to remind that we are talking here about anti-corruption.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.